Bitcoin is digital gold, and the digital gold rush has officially started, ladies and gentlemen. Companies like Tesla, PayPal, SquarePay have started to either buy Bitcoin in mass or really allow users to use Bitcoin to buy things on their platform, or in the case of Tesla, which is the focus of our video today, maybe allow you to buy a physical vehicle with Bitcoin. In this video, I'll be talking about what that means for Tesla, what that means for Bitcoin, and ultimately what that means for you. Of course, I always put my money where my mouth is, and so I'll be showing you my current holdings in both Tesla and Bitcoin. But first, I want to talk about one of the most impactful investments you can make, and that is in this channel right here, right now. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Help a brother out. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers this year, and you just might be the next one. And while you're at it, down there pressing stuff, go ahead and hit the like button too. Love you and appreciate you. Let's jump into it. So first, let's start by talking about my current Tesla holdings. You can see here that Tesla's current price at close of today is $803. The market literally just closed it as $431. I have a market value of $83,615 across 104 shares with an average cost basis of $885 per share. So I'm down 8K today. Totally fine. Took a hit today. It'll go back up. Volatility is not our enemy, friends. If you have a good investment thesis and you see something that you love dip, that is a reason to buy. Red is good. If you have a trouble with looking at graphs that are going down, then maybe flip those bad boys upside down, turn that frown into a smile, and a bunch of other really silly puns. But no, seriously, I'm really happy with where Tesla is and where it is going in the future. So yeah, that is my holding so far. I just wanted to show you that I am in fact an investor in Tesla. We'll go ahead and close that. What does this actually mean with Tesla buying $1.5 billion in Bitcoin? What does that mean for the company? I think that this is a great hedge against the hyperinflationary environment that we're in. So what do I actually mean by that? So right now, the U.S. government is printing money more or less to save our economy from spiraling out of control. And the last year, 2020, due to this pandemic, there was a huge amount of job loss. Obviously, I'm here in New York City right now. Businesses are still closed, or they're still restricted to the number of patrons that they can have. Indoor dining might be coming back at 25% capacity, but nightclubs are closed. Every single thing that you want to do in life, really, in the city is still closed. That's thousands and thousands, if not millions, of people across the country who are still jobless or working at a heavily reduced income, which is just really unfortunate. So what the government has done is, as part of the stimulus and the future stimulus packages, there was the stimulus package that went out before, all of these other things, the government ultimately is just printing a ton of money. So what does that mean for Bitcoin? So Bitcoin has a low correlation value with the equities market, and so by Tesla buying Bitcoin, they can basically hedge against hyperinflation. So where have we actually seen hyperinflation so far, though? If you look at the stock market, it's a pretty clear indicator of hyperinflation. Because interest rates are so low and so much money is being printed, and there's nowhere else really to put this money, you'll see that real estate has appreciated a crazy amount, even though the economy isn't doing well. And we've also seen the stock market, some crazy gains across a few stocks such as Tesla, even though the world is in this weird place where not everybody is gainfully employed. And a lot of people would look at that and say, well, we must be doing all right if the stock market is doing well, but that's not really an indicator of the full health of the economy. Really what we're seeing are prices increase, far exceeding necessarily the underlying value. Now, it's a great opportunity to make money if you put your money in the right things at the right time, like I am doing. I think when there is a pullback, ultimately you can actually make enough money to outpace any losses. But if you've been investing conservatively over the last few years, you're really going to be in a tough spot when there is a pullback. So I highly recommend staying in tech and these companies who are going to really hit these exceptional outsized gains in the near term, and then you can readjust into a more conservative portfolio in the future. But I want to get back into our main topic at hand, and that is, obviously Tesla buying Bitcoin. I think that, again, it's just a great hedge against inflation. It stops the cash burn. So all the cash that they have due to their hyperinflationary environment, that is just losing value. And so this is a really smart buy. I think that, Tesla's mission, to really change the future of our Earth in a more positive way. I said that weird. Bitcoin is kind of hurts that mission because it's costs a ton, really in the form of electricity to mine Bitcoin. but I think ultimately, Tesla is a company that is betting on the future. Bitcoin obviously is a huge player in the future of our world. ARK Invest Kathy Woods, in fact, actually thinks that Bitcoin going into that future could actually go from its current value in the mid 40s, I think it was around $46,000 today, up to $400,000 or $500,000, which is a great segue into the next part of my video, which is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin as it stands today, I think has proven that it is here to stay. I think if you bet against Bitcoin, you're actually just silly. It's like, honestly, how many times can you lose at this point? Bitcoin is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It's only continued to increase in value. And as more and more companies race to put it on their balance sheets, the value is going to get pumped up. And ultimately, it is going to be that race to get Bitcoin on companies' balance sheets, which gets the value from the 40s up to 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. And ultimately, what I think is that Bitcoin will actually hit $1 million sooner than later. But let me add a little bit more color to that. So if you're looking at the price of Bitcoin now and thinking that, 100,000 or 400,000 sounds crazy, you're probably thinking like, oh, you're just dreaming. That's actually not me just hyping it up. Bitcoin is in limited supply. There's only 21 million or so. I'll probably overlay whatever the actual number is, but off the top of my head, I think it's 21 million Bitcoins that can ever exist. There are billions of people on the planet, so it's literally impossible for everyone to have, one Bitcoin. It's just not happening, especially since tons of people already own much of the Bitcoin that's in supply. And then if you look at companies who are trying to add it to their balance sheets, and then if you account for the fact that Bitcoin ultimately is going to be a way to replace traditional banking, which I'm going to touch on in a second, there is so much upside. It's almost immeasurable. For Bitcoin to 10x actually isn't that, wouldn't require that much more capital additionally added to it, in my opinion. I think that we could easily hit $400,000 or $500,000 or $1 million per coin. And I really want to talk about traditional banking versus what Bitcoin could be in terms of replacing traditional banking. So traditional banking, if you want to store money, whether you're in the US or whether you're in Europe or wherever you are in the world, you deposit your money into your country's banking system, right? And you play within the laws of your country's banking system. Bitcoin is completely decentralized. I can take $1 million of my own money, I could put it into Bitcoin, it's locked up there, and it doesn't matter what my country does or what happens here. That Bitcoin is just there. It is highly uncorrelated to any market or in general. So my money essentially, or Bitcoin, allows me to have a super decentralized, massive store of value. It is kind of volatile, sure, but it's a natural hedge against any government's fiscal policy, right? Or hyperinflation, or really, if you don't want to play by the game of whatever your local bankers require, you can just put your money in there. The other really interesting thing about that too is it's not regulated today, which might change. And jumping back on the Tesla train and what this means, Tesla put 1.5 billion into Bitcoin, and then Elon Musk tweeted about it, and the price went up, and so they essentially just got millions and millions of dollars, probably hundreds of millions of dollars in free capital. I didn't check what the price was on the entry date back in January to, whenever it was announced, but I'm sure it adds up to hundreds of millions of dollars. Someone do the math. Maybe I'll overlay that on the video too. So what does that look like for us? I want to jump into my account right now, look at my Bitcoin. So currently we can see it has a value of 44,761, and that's actually just the price of Bitcoin because I'm actually holding only one Bitcoin. I only have one Bitcoin, and unlike my other crypto, this is actually the only BTC that I'm holding at all anywhere. So I have other cryptos and other exchanges, and I'm not afraid to say that I was wrong. I wasn't a Bitcoin believer for many times, but that's okay. I think smart people learn, you recognize your mistakes. So I bought some of this when it was at 32. I went ahead and grabbed one coin, and you can see I'm up $12,000 right now. I would love to get to like 10 or so BTC. Due to the aforementioned reasons, if it goes to 100,000, 500,000, I think that'd be a great play in like the 5 to 10 year range in my portfolio. Obviously, though, I have to spread out my risk and diversify because I have some great near-term plays. So I don't want to go all in on Bitcoin right now because I do think it is a multi-year play. But the possible multiplier on those dollars truly is massive. And like anyone else, I got to make my bets. I'm not really willing to, I invest in real estate and other things now, and I need money now. So I'd love to go all in on Bitcoin and just wait, 5 years for it to pop to $500,000. but I've got stuff that I've got to do, tomorrow and the next day. And I have a few other really great plays that I'm working on as well. So really the last part here is, and I kind of just touched on it, but how do we get paid? One, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take this as advice. This is purely for entertainment purposes. But as somebody who's here to entertain you, but is also interested in finance, like I just mentioned, I plan to increase my BTC holdings up to 3, 4, hopefully 5 at a minimum, and really with a target of acquiring 10 BTC. Obviously, if you don't have a ton of money, that's going to be tough to do, but I think any amount is a great position in a portfolio that is betting on the future. I think it is a bit of an aggressive play, right? Bitcoin is very volatile. It's in the 40s right now. It could go down to 30 tomorrow, and you essentially would be losing 30% of your account value, more or less, if you take a jump from like 40 down to 30,000. So just be aware of the risk, the volatility. I would not go all in on Bitcoin if you need cash now, or if there's some likeliness that you might need your money in 3 months, because right when you need your money could be the same day that Bitcoin takes a nosedive on that day, week, or month. But if you can look long term, if you have the ability to take a section of your dollars long term, I think that Bitcoin, as with other cryptos, is a great way to really just hedge into our future, diversify your account, hedge against inflation and things like that, and ultimately in the future make a shit ton of money. In all seriousness, though, Tesla and Bitcoin are both world-changing technologies and companies, and so I plan to buy both, and maybe you will too. I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed making it. Collectively, we got my channel from 300 or so subs up to I think over 700 now, so thank each and every one of you. If you still haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit that button. Go ahead and hit the like button. Share this video with anybody that you think cares about changing their financial future. That is my mission. I'm going to talk about anything and everything under the sun finance related. I greatly appreciate your support. Thank you for stopping by. With that, my name is Forrest. I invest in stuff. You should too, and I will see you all in the next one.